Hi, I'm Daniel Andrews, owner and creator of AndrewsFootball.com. Welcome to my Wildcard breakdown. If you're new to my channel and you haven't done it yet, there's a button right down here. See it, see it, see it. Bam! Hit that button. Become one of the greatest people on planet Earth. My channel is scientifically proven to make all your wildest dreams come true. Now, before I break down before I do a breakdown of the wildcard games, I'm going to go ahead and let you know I'm going out of order for the divisional round. I'm going to break down the Chiefs-Texans tomorrow. Chiefs and Texans are tomorrow. I'm going out of order. I want to get the Chiefs one out of the way. I want to get it fast because I really want to hear a lot from Texans fans and Chiefs fans. And I'm going to do a little trash talking here. I'm going to be a fan. I'm not going to be quite my normal objective self here. But before I break down the wild card news here, I got some NFL news. On my Black Monday review, I reviewed, oh, I got a little tongue-tied there, but I stated Doug Marrone was going to be out. Turns out to be that they're actually going to stay with him. They're blaming Coughlin for the last 2 years, and he got too much credit when they went to the AFC Championship game in 2017. I think Coughlin's getting too much blame. I'm really surprised about this. But Marrone's leash is going to be really short, okay? Really short, so he's got to do better. Keep in mind they have the 9th and the 20th pick in the draft, so it'll be very interesting to see what they do in the draft and what they do in the offseason, because this is a team that needs to get better and get competitive, or some people are going to lose their jobs. Dallas is actually officially fired Jason Garrett. This is funny because I know a lot of Cowboys fans, and universally every single one hates Garrett, and I really don't get it. I'm the only person that thinks he's a good coach. But the Cowboys are looking at candidates with NFL experience, and I was kind of surprised because I actually thought that they would go in a completely different direction. And remember, when they won all those Super Bowls in the 90s, they went with a college coach. They didn't go with a guy with NFL experience, and that's where they were the most successful. So I thought they would kind of go back to that blueprint because there's several good college coaches. I think that would be excellent NFL head coaches, and more of the college game is now become prevalent in the NFL. So I really thought they would not go to the old tried and true method. I'm kind of surprised about this, but they actually talked to Jeff Fisher. I'm really surprised about that. I think he's an excellent coach. But I would be shocked if he was back in the NFL because the Rams did so much better when he was fired. Then Mike McCarthy was interviewed, and so is Marvin Lewis. I kind of question because Mike McCarthy supposedly is the front runner. Look how well Green Bay's doing this year. They got a bye. And Marvin Lewis 0-7 in the playoffs. But if you're looking for coaching experience, McCarthy has a Super Bowl ring. So that's kind of hard. But I am very surprised about this. I'll talk a little more about the Cowboys later on. But let's just kind of do a wild card breakdown here. First one, Buffalo at Houston. I called this right. This was my number one game to put down action. Take Houston in 2.5. Yes, it took overtime, but they did cover. And when I watched this game, the number one thing I noticed was Josh Allen's not ready. I mean, there was times they showed the camera on him. He looked scared. The game was too big for him, bottom line. And I blame the loss on Josh Allen. He needed to do more. Now, before you say I hate Josh Allen, I love Josh Allen. I don't know if you can see this here. I take some Crab Magall. Okay, wrong side. Take some Crab Magall, and I took it a couple years ago, and I trained a few times with one of his teammates at the University of Wyoming. And so this was when Josh Allen was a senior at Wyoming. So I got some firsthand information, and the guy had nothing but great things to say about Josh Allen. So no matter where Josh Allen goes, I'm going to be a fan of Josh Allen. But out of all the AFC playoff quarterbacks, he to me would be number 6. I would put Tannehill over Allen, not career-wise, not saying that Allen's going to be better, but how they're playing right now. Which quarterback would I want the most? There's 5 others that I would take before Josh Allen right now. Now, next year, that might be a different story. But this year in the playoffs, the guy I would want the least would be Allen. He kind of proved it. He had accuracy issues. He made some questionable decisions. That behind the back lateral fumble thing, I mean, what the hell? But he will learn from this. The Bills are a young, talented team. If you're a member of the AFC East, be afraid. The Bills are for real. The Bills are for real. And I think this was the best case scenario. I really do. This was the very best that the Buffalo Bills can do this year. For 2019, get to the playoffs, get to overtime, lose by field goal. That is the best possible scenario. I didn't see them winning this game. There's no way they would have gone past the divisional round. They are not ready. 2020 is a different story. 2020 is a completely different story. The Houston Texans, Deshaun Watson's really good. Newsflash, this guy is really, really good. DeAndre Hopkins is great. That defense is good. J.J. Watt's not 100%, but having him out there did help. He did have a sack, but I've watched J.J. Watt. That is not J.J. Watt at even close to 100%. But they're playing Kansas City Sunday. And of course, I'm going to release that video tomorrow. So next game, Tennessee at New England. I was shocked by this. Now, somebody I was chatting to said he took Tennessee in the money line. The money line was $200, so a $100 wager hit $200. If you're watching this, great job. It was a great value. Now, this may sound confusing to those of you that are not experienced gamblers, that don't do a lot of sports betting. I like New England to cover 5, but 200 on the money line was great value. Hopefully that made sense. I thought that the bet that he made, because you're getting 2-to-1 odds, it was great value. I thought the smart play was New England and 5 points. He was right. I was wrong, but I am floored by this. And here's the thing. Derrick Henry is for real. Derrick Henry is for real. Here's the thing. Big running backs like Derrick Henry usually have a short lifespan. To kind of compare him to somebody similar, look at Eddie George. Similar type back, tall, upright, big guy. First 5 years of Eddie George's career, he was a stud. Then he just went downhill, and he went downhill pretty fast. Had 3 so-so years, and then his last year he played in Dallas, had like 400 yards. It was very forgettable. Don't even try to watch film of that. It's sad because here's a guy who's for 5 years one of the best running backs. And that 5th year, he was an all-pro, first-team all-pro, deserved to be first-team all-pro, maybe the best running back in football, and then just boom. And that's what happens with big backs. It goes fast. So it'll be interesting to see if Tennessee re-signs him or not. But speaking of free agents, Tom Brady's a free agent. I mean, before you say you can't see Tom Brady going somewhere else, well, I couldn't see Brett Favre going somewhere else. I couldn't see Peyton Manning going somewhere else. I couldn't see Joe Montana going somewhere else. I couldn't see Joe Namath going somewhere else. I couldn't see Johnny Unitas going somewhere else. Almost universally, every great NFL quarterback finishes the last couple of years of their career with another team. And we'll get into that later on. Personally, I think it would be interesting. But in the past, Brady's always been willing to take less than market value. What if he says, hey, I want a 2-year, $75 million deal, which is feasible. Right now, I think Rodgers is the highest paid NFL quarterback with like $36 million. What if Brady says, I want a 2-year, $75 million deal? Is there an NFL team out there that will pay him that? Yes, there is. I'll get into more detail of that later on, but bottom line, here's the thing. Tennessee's defense played really good, and out of everybody in the playoffs, every single team, every single player, Derrick Henry may be the best player in the playoffs. Baltimore's got a tough out. That's going to be a tougher game than I think a lot of people think, because Derrick Henry's going to get his yards. That is a bad man. Another game I didn't see coming, Vikings at Saints. Now, to me, the Saints were the best team in the NFC for the third straight year. And what happened is they got screwed last year, so they complained and complained, and the NFL changed the rules. So now that every time there's a questionable pass interference call, they look at it on replay. You can challenge pass interference calls. And then all of a sudden, now it builds up to this moment where Kyle Rudolph pushes off. The refs didn't catch it, so you go to replay, you get it right, and the fans should be happy. No, the NFL completely dropped the ball here. The NFL dropped the ball. The whole point of replaying pass interference calls was for this moment, for this time, and the NFL screwed up. The NFL dropped the ball. I mean, I can't tell you how bad this is because you prolong games, you take all sorts of pull away from the referee. Every single play, it's like we're going to go to review, and it's terrible. But it would have been all worth it if you get this call right. And they didn't. Now Saints fans, you shouldn't have put yourself in that situation. You did not play a good game. This was not a good game. I watched Saints play a lot this year, and that was probably the worst I've seen the Saints play. On the other hand, the Vikings played some damn good football. Dalvin Cook, he's what? If healthy, a top 5, top 10 running back? Thielen's a stud. Here he is. First play, he gets the ball, he fumbles. Then he makes the biggest play of the game in overtime to set up the push off by Kyle Rudolph. But bottom line, Thielen's a stud. So, I mean, here's the thing. Saints fans, you had your chance. You had your chance. You should have won this game, but you didn't play a good game. I don't want to hear about you getting screwed by the refs because you shouldn't have put yourself in that situation to begin with. Here's the thing. 2 years ago, the miracle in Minneapolis, they were able to bounce back. The bad pass interference call, they were able to bounce back. The Kyle Rudolph push off, no call. Can they come back from this? I'll be honest, I don't know. I really don't know. But I'll say this. The Vikings are a damn good football team. And the Vikings, that's going to be a fun game. Vikings and Niners, that's going to be a fun game because the Vikings played a great game. They made a lot of neat adjustments on defense. And Thielen, if he's healthy, he is a legitimate number 1 receiver. And Dalvin Cook, top 5 or top 10 running back, that guy can play. So watch out. The Vikings can play. And in the last game, Seattle at Philly, and I called this one. It's a real shame that Wentz got injured. Is it a different story if Wentz is healthy? Well, sure, of course it is. But when the Eagles went to the Super Bowl, was Wentz your quarterback? No, he was injured. And he has a history of this. So if you're in Philadelphia Eagles, you've got to have a good quarterback, not somebody who's coaching high school football a month ago in North Carolina or wherever it is. You need to have a better plan in play if Carson Wentz is your quarterback because he gets hurt a lot. Plain and simple. I'm not questioning his toughness. I'm not questioning his toughness at all. I'm not saying that. He's reckless. He's tough. I think he's an awesome quarterback, but you got to have a better backup quarterback. Because you did a couple years ago and you won a Super Bowl. You didn't this year and you got knocked out of the playoffs. I think they lost. I think they lose anyway, but you don't know. Was it a dirty hit? No, it wasn't a dirty hit. Don't even go there. Was not a dirty hit. I will say this, though, about the Eagles. Fletcher Cox is a beast. I love Fletcher Cox. And Miles Sanders is a really good young running back. Both are tight ends, Ertz and Goddard. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. He had 7 catches. He was their leading receiver. Both those guys can play. As far as Seattle, and I will pound the table on this for a very, very long time, I still think the Kansas City Chiefs should have took DK Metcalf. They took Thornhill, who was actually playing really good football, tore his ACL. He's out for the rest of the playoffs. And Miracle Hardman went to the Pro Bowl, but they still should have took DK Metcalf. I don't care what anybody says. 7 catches, 160 yards, and a touchdown. Looks like a man among boys out there. Can you imagine what he'd be doing with Mahomes? I mean, think about it for a second. I mean, I'm not taking anything away from Russell Wilson. Just think about what he would do with Mahomes. The defense played really good, but not great. Not great. You gave up 9 points to a 40-year-old backup who was coaching high school football. I mean, you're supposed to do that. So bottom line, though, what Seattle's doing is fun. It's interesting. Let's do this here. Let's look at the early lines for our divisional rounds. San Francisco's a 6.5-point favorite versus Minnesota. Baltimore opened at 10. It's now 9.5. This one floors me. Kansas City opened at 8, now 9.5. Major action is on Kansas City. Major money was put down as soon as this line opened. People were running to put action on Kansas City. Opened at 8, now 9.5. I'll be honest, I'm a Chiefs fan. I don't get the heavy action. That's a big number. Green Bay, out of all of them, this is the one that makes the most sense to me. Green Bay's 4-point favorite. That's perfect. Personally, I think the Kansas City and San Francisco line should be flip-flopped. I thought Kansas City, and I think this is going to drop. I actually think that this could be around a touchdown, but how it went up to 9.5 means that heavy action was placed on Kansas City. I actually thought it would open around 7 or 7.5, dropped around 7. I was thinking it'd be closer to 6.5. I actually thought San Francisco would be considered an 8-point favorite over Minnesota. Could you call this disrespect? You're still favored. But Baltimore, I get it. I get it and everything, but 10's a big number. Now it's 9.5. It'll be interesting. I actually think that will drop a little bit. I do think Baltimore will win, and I'm going to do a video on all 4 of these games, but the opening up at 10 was a big number, so I'm a little surprised about these lines, but we got a lot of breaking down to do over this week. I'm releasing a video every single day. I'm going out of order for the divisional round because I want to get the Kansas City Texans video out. I want to talk to a lot of Chiefs fans. I want to hear from Texans fans. I want to hear what you think. This is a big number, 9.5. So what do you think? Do you feel disrespected? I mean, I'm surprised by it, and I'm a Chiefs fan. So listen, tomorrow is my breakdown of Kansas City versus Houston. If you haven't done it already, see that button? I blew it up for you. So look at it. Bam! Hit that button. Become one of the greatest people on planet Earth. Chiefs and Texans tomorrow. I will see you then.